There is a story that I want you to pay attention to because I'm about to talk about Molefe. He hijacked an airport. And you want me to unpack this for you? I'm here for that. But it's not just about the hijacking of the airport. It's also about who was involved as they were hijacking this. Guess what? ANC are accused of being involved in that. Now, there is a story that has been reported by City Press. It says how Molefe hijacked multi-million rand airport development project. The story doesn't end there because somebody will go as far as elaborating that story. And just to give you a bit of glimpse into the story, somebody posted this and said, 3 ANC ministers as taking Molefe's 48-hour-old company awarded 350 billion Free State Airport tender. Molefe's company was registered 2 days after the tender was advertised. Yet he won King Michel, who had secured 198 billion in funding. 3. Cabinet Minister appointed Cyril Ramaphosa allegedly implicated in the awarding of the tender. 4. Molefe also facing multiple murder charges. Once hailed as 150,000 job project, the deal now works corruption. So, there's a question that I want you to ask yourself. I want you to ask yourself, why does it look like every major scandal links back to Ramaphosa? Why does it look like everything big, it links back to Ramaphosa? Now, if you think I'm joking, we did a story about the 2 billion feeding scheme in KZN. Guess what? It links back to Ramaphosa. We did a story about KT Matlala. Guess what? It links back to Ramaphosa. Now, we are doing another story. Now we are talking about Molefe, where there is billion. As we are talking about KT Molefe, that story, guess what? It links back to Ramaphosa. Why does it look like everywhere where there are scandals, those scandals revolve around the president? Now, they report, or as City Press writes, and they said, Sebastian's Investments and Logic was registered 2 days after the tender was advertised, yet he was awarded 250 billion project. King Michel, the initial winner, had 198 billion in investor commitment before the municipality awarded the tender to Molefe's company. 3 senior ANC cabinet ministers allegedly implicated in corruption surrounding the controversial tender award. I am asking myself, is it possible to commit crime without the involvement of the ruling party? Think about that for a moment. As you think about that, please do this. If you're not yet subscribed, what are you waiting for? Because to subscribe, it is free. To like the video, it is free. To comment in the comment section below, it is free of charge. To like the video, it is free of charge. You can also join. Click the join button. Become a member of this YouTube channel. You will pay from as little as 20 Rand a month. You can also make use of the Super Thanks button. You can donate from as little as 20 Rand a month as we proceed. Now listen to the article as we proceed. Quite interesting, right? We need to break it down for you so you can understand where is it started, where it's all started and where it is heading. But listen to this. Intercentered controversial business, Kate Sotika Molefe, allegedly orchestrated a multi-billion rand cargo airport development project heist in the Majahaneng local municipality in the Free State, using company registered 2 days after the tender was advertised in August 2023. Molefe's company, Sebastian Investment and Logistics 2, what is that word, was awarded the multi-billion rand tender to develop the abandoned Volcom Airport into an international cargo airport, passenger port, and aviation academy in 2023. The project was initially awarded to local company King Michel by the Lesotho Local Development Agency on August 2022, right? Sebastian was awarded the tender by Majahaneng local municipality under the district, despite being registered on the 16th of August 2023, while the tender was advertised on the 14th of August 2023. This week, Molefe appeared. Okay, let's leave that part. But I wanted you to note that you've got to ask yourself a question. When was he ready? Right? From a distance, it looked like this was. It was like, hey, listen, there's a tender that I want you to have. It looks like that. There's a tender that I want you to have. We need this money. Go register a company. We are going to give you this tender, and you will see how you sort ourselves out. It makes sense why this man was getting away with a lot of things. Do you notice now why the life of Mkhwanazi remains in danger? Because now you can see when Mkhwanazi opened that can of worm, we now get to see, so the ANC were surely involved. So do you think that the ANC will be happy to see Mkhwanazi walking free? Nothing happens to him. Guys, we've got to watch out here. And I'm asking you this again. Do you think that the ANC will be happy? It makes sense why the ANC was very angry at Mkhwanazi. Remember their reaction on the 6th. It makes a lot of sense now. But let's continue. City Press can reveal that despite having resigned from the company on the 28th of July 2025, Molefe appeared to be using the project as an exceptional circumstances to win his freedom. More than 122 billion was allocated to road infrastructure to connect Welkom to Bloemfontein, Johannesburg, and the Northern Cape and Cape Town. The presentation also indicates that 200 billion was allocated for additional amenities, including building a smart city near the airport and bullet train, a car assembly plant, and a cultural village. In the first 5 years, the project was expected to create more than 150,000 jobs for individuals and involve up to 500 small businesses, right? However, intervention by the Majahaneng local municipality resulted in King Michel's being sidelined in favor of Molefe's Sebastian Investment. After several failed attempts to resolve the issue, King Michel sent the municipality letter of demand and threatening to approach the court for interdict the project. King Michel, the company that was initially awarded the contract, argued that it now faced potential displacement after the municipality failed to provide essential in the lease agreement and subsequently awarded a similar tender to another party. The client faces a complex legal challenge arising from the municipality's action and concerning the Welkom Airport Development Project. You see, this letter, by the way, letter of demand was issued on the 7th of August, 2024. I want you to think about it. I'm struggling to put this into words. But if I were to put this into words, I would say it feels like you can't separate the ANC from corruption. That's one. Two, it feels like all the high-profile matters, one way or the other, they will link back to the ANC, because one will say, for the likes of Molefe to get away with all of these things, they have enjoyed protection. Who was organizing all those things? Well, take what I said with a pinch of salt, but use the word allegedly, but it's out there for everybody to see it for what it is. But let's read this. The company said the municipality's refusal to provide this lease agreement, coupled with subsequent advertising and awarding of a similar tender to a third party, has created a situation of contractual breach, procedural irregularities, and potential corruption. The letter written by the company's lawyer, Lopes attorney, also indicate that the awarding of the tender to King Michel was confirmed through an award letter and subsequent processes, including the signing of several level agreement on the 2nd of September 2022. However, the project has been stalled due to the municipality's refusal to provide the essential lease agreement for the land required for the development. This refusal directly contravenes the service level agreement and the project preparation agreement, both of which explicitly stipulate the municipality's obligation to provide the necessary land. I think my comrade sat there and they were like, we're not gonna get this. We have this man. How can you get this money? Nah. They were even saying, I'm sure they even say, fuck the law. We don't care about the law. We're underman. And then guess what? This is where we are today. How do you feel? You voted for them, so you should be feeling well. Let's continue. Project hijacking. City Press understands that the hijacking of the project began when the local municipality hosted an investment summit to which government representatives and business people from the Free State and Gauteng were invited to attend. Among those who attended the summit were requested to make a presentation were Molefe and his partners. After 2 days summit held on the 7th and the 8th of June 2023, King Michel was allegedly instructed to co-opt Molefe and his partners to work together. But King Michel's questioned the decision, as they had already been awarded the tender and had secured commitment from investors. So sources says Majahanen Mayor Tandu Xolo Kalipa insisted that King Michel works with Molefe and his partners because they were investors in the project. Listen to what they say. Molefe and some of his partners, who were introduced to us as investors from Mauritius, turned out to be South Africans. Yeah, you know what? It's so funny because if they were Mauritius, yes, guys, some of these things, it's very difficult to defend such nonsense. Like, this is ridiculous. This is nonsense at its highest form. But let's continue. Let me break it down. They are saying, according to the source, at the time, King Michel was being forced to work with Molefe because they had already been awarded the tender by the district municipality. The source say several meetings were held between June and August in Welkom and Johannesburg, with the municipality represented by Kalipa and two companies in a bid to force them to work together. According to source, some of the meetings were attended by other role players, including government officials. However, the King Michel refused to work with Molefe and his partners. The municipality advertised the tender with a take price of 5 billion on 14 August. King Michel says they refused to work with Molefe after realizing that this company brought nothing to the table because they, King Michel, had already secured the funding commitment from various local and international companies. You see, I told you, a pure money-making scheme. You are bringing nothing to the table, but you are being forced to work with the person. That is a clear indication of a red flag where people want to siphon money. But for them to do that, they have to find creative ways. I mean, if you have agreed from the word go to work with him here, why did you change your mind? Whilst you're still asking that question, let's read this. Several letters from commitment from bid and reputable companies to fund the project, seen by City Press, dated back as 2019, where the company was proposing a development of the cargo port. Awarding of the tender to Sebastian Investment has raised serious concern about the allegation of corruption that could implicate 3 senior ANC cabinet ministers, senior municipal officials, and business people at the national level. According to information received by Molefe's company, Molefe's company allegedly submitted a tender document that claimed that it was graded as 9CE on Construction Industry Development Board contractor register. According to the CIDB contractor register, a grade 9 CE grading signifies that the company has demonstrated exceptional expertise, experience, and capabilities in civil engineering construction. A company that is registered 2 days after the advertisement of this thing, right? You have to then ask yourself a question. If that's the case, then you have to say, you have to ask yourself a question to say, okay, if you were to be graded, let's say, okay, you managed to get the experts to work with you. So tell me, where did you get the experience then? Because say all the other things, you've got the capability, the civil engineering capabilities, the expert, but there's one thing that you have to expect. It's just only one, the experience. Where did you get the experience? Where did you get the experience? When did you get the experience? Yeah. You see, this scandal is going to go deeper. It's going to go deeper, Papa. Yeah. Okay, let's continue. This top-tier grading indicates that the company's ability to handle large and complex projects, backed by proven track record of successful, on time, within budget project delivery. Sources say it's highly unlikely that Molefe's company was registered and given a grade of 9 CE. King Michel, which was initially awarded the tender by the Watwat district, is not willing to accept the alleged corruption that influenced the decision to make the tender to take a tender away from them into Sebastian. Right. The King Michel wrote several letters of demand and the municipality threatening to approach the High Court and interdict the project. According to document seen by City Press, King Michel started making presentation about the development and abandoned Volcom Airport as far back as 2018. The presentation, which was sent to various international cargo airport companies, included 30 billion rebuild of the current runway. The runway revamp was highlighted as the first phase. The company approached several international cargo airport companies to fund the project. By investment, by 2022, the company had received a written commitment of investment value of 198 billion. After the controversy surrounding Molefe, City Press discovered that the tendered his resignation from the company along with his son Tepo Molefe. Resignation. But the two who also share the same residential address in Gauteng, among other 6 directors listed on the CIPC. According to the CIPC record, Molefe resigned 3 weeks ago, whilst his son resigned in February. City Press discovered that the project was launched 2 months ago by Kalipa. In an interview with ENCA, Kalipa said they were expecting the project to start very soon. He said the value of a development project was 5 billion. King Michel official refused to comment on the matter while the municipality fails to respond to the inquiries. You see, there are a few things that you learn from the story. One is that there is corruption at the highest level that is happening here. And you don't need to be dumb to see that. There's something off about everything here. Number two, it proves the point that Molefe is connected. 3, the lesser said about the ANC, the better. You're going to tell me in the comment section below what you think. But for me, I'm saying the lesser said about the ANC, the better. Let me leave it here. See you on the next episode.